Hello everyone. Welcome to Dr. Rajkumar Academy. Welcome to the session on 14 to 2023. So now in this if we see Aero India Expo showcases India's self-confidence. Prime Minister. So guys, this is an issue where we are talking about how to increase our Atmanirbharta in defense sector. So here we are trying to showcase not only India's but 98 countries, which will definitely help India as export destination for aircrafts and all. And it will also help India to export aircrafts in future. Adani case. Center has no objection to Supreme Court panel. See, guys, here is the beauty. So I was telling you that Adani case, if a court is interfering and if the court looks into it, it would be much better rather than going for a joint parliamentary committee, because joint parliamentary committee is mostly made up of opposition, including the ruling, but opposition would be the head. And what they normally try to do is damage not only the government on Adani case, because see, elections are coming, just 1 year is there. So they would try to create what is the relation between Modi and Adani, all these type of things. Now that would create unnecessary ruckus. It is of no use. But what we want to know is whether Adani Group has done any crime and have they followed the rules and regulations. If we can understand that, then it is easy for us to take action against them. If you go into political aspects, then there is no solution as well. You can't prove the relationship between the government and a businessman. And when you are going for such type of joint probes, the main intention of the probe will be lost. So the central government has told that we don't have any objection if you people, that is court, if you are willing to establish a joint committee, we are ready for it. But whatever you want to do, should it be in a sealed cover? That means it must not come to public. The reason for this is, let us say court is monitoring SEBI. That means SEBI has done some wrong, correct? And this will lead to foreign investors and domestic investors not investing in the shares. They will feel there is some problem with India, so we should think about investing in the country. So that would be the negative impact that will be there. So central government has requested Supreme Court not to reveal the names and other aspects of this particular case. So it can request it till the judgment is out. Guys, Women Premier League is starting, and it's so beautiful that India has reached a stage where women sportsmen are given so much of love and affection. So it's good that gender disparity is reducing and women are moving in almost all the spheres. It took several centuries for independent countries to provide even basic rights like voting and all to women. But today, Indian women are in Air Force, they are in sports, they are going to countries like Africa for peacekeeping. And while going to Africa and other countries, they are ensuring that basic facilities like schools, education is provided to them. Women of India has reached or are reaching greater heights. This this doesn't mean that there are no problems for women at all or the society has changed. But this shows that there is an opportunity. Traditional parents, when they look at these type of things, everyone would like to imagine their children also to be successful. So these type of things acts as inspiration for other parents also to send their children to these type of activities. Supreme Court upholds Constitution of Jammu Kashmir delimitation panel. See guys, before elections are contested, fine, before you start an election, what is most important for you is first you should demarcate the boundary. That means if I say I need to have an election, first what should I do? Let's say this is the place. First I need to say, how do I divide the constituencies? Correct? So I need to demarcate it. Now this is done by delimitation committee. But what the delimitation committees normally do is, let's say now BJP is in power and in the committee a lot of BJP people are there. Let's say here Hindus are there, here Buddhists are there, here Muslims are there. Now they will try to make constituencies like this. So can you see, Hindu population will be more, Muslim population will be less. So like this what they'll do, here they'll do like this. So that all Muslim constituencies will be at one place. But they will try to increase constituencies where Hindus are more, Buddhists are more, so that at least in 30-40% seats they have an edge. This was done when in Karnataka by Deve Gowda ji and others, Maharashtra, everywhere, every government whichever is there, if they are being called, they try to divide them in such a way that some portions will always have in their advantage. Whoever is in power, everyone wants to win elections, so that would be the case. That's why opposition is saying that this is wrong, whereas government is telling that no, no, this is fair enough. Honor of office. Those required to shun partisan politics must not be made governors. See, guys, I was telling you yesterday that retired judges, if they become governors, it might not be seen in a proper manner because it will be seen as the judges supporting the government, which is not correct for the judiciary. That is for truth, not a pipe dream. Because India has an ambitious project of providing, water, drinking water facility to 19.2 crore people. 19.2 crore people. And out of this, 57% is already completed as of February 2023. There is 43%, and this needs to be done in UP, Madhya Pradesh, and many other parts. So the article is trying to say one is like, when will you cover? It is not easy for you to cover. Second, it is trying to say even if you cover, you can't provide quality water quickly. Is both are valid arguments, guys. But let us look at this in a perspective of UPSC officers. Now, when I see, there was a situation when there was no tap connectivity at all. But today, first I want to construct or provide tap and connect it with some water. Over a period of time, I can think about what are all the water resources that are there locally and ensure that pure drinking water facility is provided to them, or at least they are being filtered. See guys, there was a time when everyone were criticizing toilet constructions as well, but now toilets are constructed and they are also being used. Similarly, we should focus on such aspects, guys. What are those aspects? First, try to at least have a pipeline. Once you have a pipeline, then we need to think about other aspects. Fine. So, India is going in the right direction. Economic survey also praises this. Jal Jeevan Mission. There can be a question on this, guys. Hill or city? Urban planning cannot be an afterthought. You see, guys, Varun Gandhi is a MP. We need not read his articles, but here he is writing about urban planning, which is a very important topic in your geography, right? And especially now due to disaster management and Joshimath issue. So now let me talk about the first issue here, guys. What is the first issue? It's a very simple issue. Now what he says, Joshimath was actually having a problem from 2009. So what happened? Now you see, says if this is Joshimath city, below this there is an aquifer. What is the meaning of aquifer? Where you will have groundwater. Fine. Now what happened? During a drilling, the aquifer was broken. As the aquifer was broken, there was water leakage. How much? Almost, like they were telling that, yeah, you see, 800 liters of water per second. That means per day it would benefit 30 lakh people. So much water was wasted. Now when the water was going out, whatever government took measures, it was not beneficial. So what happened? Over a period of time, water is reducing, because of which gap increases, and this would also lead to subsidence. You see, I have a city, I have like this, nothing is present. So what is going to happen? Subsidence will take place. This is the basic problem we will have, right? So in Joshimath, subsidence is mainly because of this. Second important thing, he's trying to argue that in hilly areas, landslides vulnerability is more. Any construction project, if you do, landslides, if it occur, it is going to be threatening. Now, when we talk about Himalayan states, right, especially Himalayan states, then the risk of building collapsing, landslides will be very high. So, we should take measures to understand where exactly landslides will happen and try to prevent or protect it. So, guys, if I try to take this, uh, let me say I have a hill like this. See, now when there is a landslide, everything will fall here. When there is a landslide, everything will fall here. So now I can have settlements somewhere here. I can have settlements somewhere here. So I should know if there is earthquakes, if there are landslides, which are the portions which will be affected. Once I know which portions are affected, then I'm going to have hazard mapping. Fine. Once I got hazard mapping, then I should not extend the houses. You see, I should not extend the houses this side, nor I should not extend the houses this side. I should take measures to ensure that, the cities are not prone to landslides. Second most important thing is when we look at some places ice wall in Mizoram, right? So it is actually in seismic zone 5. So what is seismic zone 5? Where there is more earthquake impact, and in case if there is earthquake, then Aizawl city will be demolished. So what they have done, with the help of colleges, students, everyone, they have identified the problems and they are trying to overcome. They are making the city disaster resilient. They are building the structures to ensure that even if there is landslides, the buildings and all are not collapsed. So that is very, very important when we are planning. Similarly, when we talk about urban floods, he says that not only focusing on sewage, not only focusing on drainage systems, we should also focus on filling up water bodies. That means we should create water bodies. Whenever floods are there, we should try to divert the water to fill them. We should try to divert the water for canals. We should try to divert the water which can drain, right? And ensure that the city is not flooded. So it's a very good article, guys. Can you just make a note of this? Urban planning. Below this, you write Joshimath, hyphen. In 2009, in 2009, tunnel boring, tunnel boring hit an aquifer, hit an aquifer, which led to, which led to loss of 800 liters of water per second. and led to drying up of drying up of groundwater. Next point. Similarly, certain urban areas, certain urban areas in hilly region are under landslides, which needs to be which needs to be controlled. Next point. Ice wall in Mizoram. Ice wall in Mizoram is on seismic zone 5 is in seismic zone 5 and can cause huge damage. But but government is taking measures to ensure that the impact is less. Next point. Urban floods are increasing. Urban floods are increasing due to climate change. So urban planners urban planners must focus on sewerage 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 storm water drain networks, and also focus on protecting blue infra protecting blue infra. So guys, worried about pending transfers. So the government and the Supreme Court are both criticizing each other on like why the names are not cleared quickly. So that's a question. Justices Bindal and Kumar take oath. Jammu and Kashmir parties express varied reaction to Supreme Court. Russian reluctance to leave Ukraine is the real problem. So guys, here they want to say, that is European Union and all are trying to say that Russia is not going out of Ukraine. That is a real problem. If they go out, then the problem is resolved. Law Minister Rijuju scoffs at criticism over appointment of ex-Supreme Court judge as governor. So why are you appointing them? That is the question. Success of Rahul Yatra not required. Amid protest, Rajya Sabha adjourned. Why can't government agree to joint house panel on Adani issue? Lok Sabha goes into month-long recess. governor to continue as Chancellor of West Bengal varsities. Not required, guys, nothing here. Foreign Secretary of India meets Nepal PM in Kathmandu. See, this Indian Foreign Secretary has visited Nepal to have talks. Uh, this is the first time India and Nepal is meeting officially after the recent elections. Remember, in the recent elections, Prachanda, who is supporting left political parties and China is in power, so meeting with him and trying to see how exactly we need to uh, push forward our relations is what they are trying to talk. Delhi mayoral polls can take place on later date. LG in Supreme Court. ICHR not rewriting history, only filling gaps. Always there is this debate on what should be included in history, what should not be included in history, guys. But unfortunately, in India, history is twisted, turned. It is only focused on few events, right? We just read about Swadeshi movement, we just read about national movements, but and we consider them as national movements. South Indian movements, Northeast Indian movements, right? Local movements are not given priority. That needs to be filled at any cost, guys. So it's important for people to study about everything. CJI wants high courts to ensure use of virtual court technology. Yes, there is lot of preference on virtual court technology so that they can actually reduce the number of cases and increase the process of giving judgments quickly. 86,912 crore released as GST compensation to all states. Because this is very, very important for you. You people must be aware here that Indian government, when introducing GST, had told to states that for some time when we go for new regime, VAT, GST like this, whenever we introduce, initially there will be some losses, and that losses will be given by the central government. So according to that, they have given this much money is what finance minister is trying to tell. US sent over 10 balloons. Russia pushes advance on Bakhmut. Turkey, Syria, quack. Catholic priests not required, guys. Saudi Arabia to send its first woman to space. It's a very impressive one because Saudi Arabia is the one which even doesn't allow people to drive cars. India discussing with G20 nations on standard operating protocol to regulate crypto. This cryptocurrency, India is not at all willing to look into, mainly because of the negatives associated with it, right? Crimes associated with it. So, guys, these are some of the issues. Thank you, guys.